It's night, quiet, everything feels calm. Until something moves, something that should never move. Something that should stay just a lifeless toy. The doll, Annabelle. The story you know from the movies feels like pure fiction. But the truth behind it might be even darker than the Hollywood version. It all began in 1970. Nursing student. Donna received a gift from her mother, a Raggedy Ann doll. Red yarn hair, simple stitched face, a wide smile. On the surface, just an innocent child's toy. Donna brought the doll to the apartment. She shared with her roommate, Angie. At first, nothing seemed strange, but soon they noticed something wasn't right. The doll started to move on its own. In the mornings, they'd find it sitting in another room or standing in a corner where they swore they hadn't left it. Sometimes its arms or legs were in different positions, like it had shifted during the night. Day after day, the movements became more obvious. And then came the notes. Small slips of paper with childish handwriting. Help us. Help Lou! Neither of them had any idea where the notes were coming from. They didn't even keep paper or pencils in the apartment. One night they discovered bloodstains on the doll, on its chest and hands. Terrified, they reached out to a medium. The medium told them that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died near their home. She only wanted love, protection, and a place to stay. The girls believed it. They welcomed her. That was their mistake. Because soon after, something happened to their friend Lou. Lou had hated the doll from the beginning. He insisted it was dangerous, that it had to be destroyed. And then he became its target. One night, Lou woke up feeling like he couldn't breathe. He opened his eyes and saw the doll sitting on his chest. Its face looked different, twisted, more sinister. Its eyes seemed empty. When he looked in the mirror the next morning, his body was covered in long claw-like scratches. But just a few hours later, they vanished without a trace. Lou swore he would never touch that doll again. And that's when Donna and Angie finally called the experts, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens immediately dismissed the idea of a harmless child spirit. They believed it was a demonic entity pretending to be a child to gain trust. The Warrens performed a cleansing ritual and took the doll with them. At their home, they locked it in a special glass case made of blessed wood. On the case's front door, a warning sign still reads, "Warning, positively do not open." Stories about Annabelle didn't stop there. It said that one young man once mocked the doll while visiting the museum. He banged on the glass, daring it to move. Hours later, he died in a car accident. According to his girlfriend, just before the accident, he laughed and mentioned Annabelle. Other visitors reported strange experiences: heavy legs, knees buckling, sudden chest pain, pounding hearts, headaches, overwhelming nausea. One man said he had to stumble outside just to breathe. Lorraine Warren often warned,
"That doll is dangerous. It's a channel. You can't underestimate what's inside it."
She said every time she approached Annabelle, she felt an unnatural cold in the room. So the question is, what's real here? Skeptics argue that Annabelle is just an ordinary rag doll, made infamous by the Warren storytelling. They say there's no real evidence, only a legend that grew over time. But those who've stood in front of her case tell another story. They talk about the doll's empty stare, following them even when they turn their heads. They describe the crushing silence in the room, the sudden weight on their chest, making it hard to breathe. One of the most famous incidents happened in the 1980s. A young couple visited the Warrens' museum. The man tapped on the glass, taunting Annabelle, daring her to scratch him. His girlfriend begged him to stop. Minutes later, as they rode home, their motorcycle slammed into a tree. He died instantly. She survived with injuries. Later, she claimed the last thing she heard him say before the crash was,
"That doll can't hurt me."
coincidence? Or something more? A faint child's voice, as if whispering from the doll itself.
Do you want to play with me?
Annabelle still sits locked inside her glass case at the Occult Museum in Connecticut. The case is sealed, blessed and guarded by daily prayers from a priest. Even after the deaths of Ed and Lorraine Warren, the doll remains one of the most heavily protected items in their collection. Clergy members who've stood near it insist the prayers must never stop or tragedy could follow. Now imagine this. Someone opens the case, and Annabelle is free again. Who would she choose first? Maybe she'd just sit quietly on a chair. Maybe she'd take one step forward. Or maybe you'd come home and find her waiting on your bed. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us bring you more terrifying true tales. Stay tuned.
Because the scariest stories are still to come.